That's a sad go-to.
It is.
The fact that their go-to is that they hurt one of our players one time is such a sad way to go.
God.
Alan Lazard. You try to put him down low because maybe you won't see him.
John, any last words before we hop off here?
Go Pack, go, baby.
Go Pack, go. The one thing that's keeping me from taking the Packers to win by 30.
I don't care if you go to every game, what game. Not only that, but you are in the second row.
Yeah.
The second row, and you're going to try to tell me to sit down? Get lost.
Get freaking lost.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning in, commenting. We love chatting with you guys. Enjoy the game. Check us out on Twitter, at Rob Westerman3 for me, at JBeckman30 for John. Have a great rest of your day. Let's get a win, and let's go freaking bear hunting, all right? We'll catch you guys later. Thank you. What is going on, everybody? Johnny. I am Rob Westerman of GBP Daily, and joining me tonight, as he always does for Pack Casual, is the man, the myth, the legend, Johnathan Beckman. John, how are we doing?
Doing good. It's been kind of a draining last week in Packerland, so hopefully trying to get to Sunday and hopefully get over that hump. So,
been
kind of glued to my phone today to see, the different things between who and David Bakhtiari as well. So
you talking about Jarrett Boykin or
talking about receivers, really Jake Kumaro.
Yeah, no, I got it. All right, good. Let's just dive in before we turn the page completely. Packers obviously lost on Sunday 13-7 behind a disaster of a showing from our special teams and a constantly pressured Jordan Love performance. Any takeaways from that game moving forward? Is it as simple as having the laces out on field goal tries?
What do I take away from it? I mean, obviously the defense was I'm still disappointed because I just feel like no matter what, I understand we didn't have Aaron Rodgers, but that defense wasn't good. 7 points is just unacceptable. I don't care who's playing. The offense, it wasn't all the quarterback's fault.
The Giants put up 17 the Monday before, and they're terrible.
Yeah, I mean the defense played outstanding. That last play that Mahomes made was just one of those freak plays that a player like him makes. But what do I make of it? I mean, the special teams just
good grief,
man. But I kept thinking that at one point Chiefs were going to go ahead like 27-3, 27. I thought we were blown out at some points. But the defense just, the
fact that we were still in it with 5 minutes left in the game, and the whole game, I'm sitting there like, all right, now is the time when the Chiefs are going to go and they're going to score, 15, 20 points, and it just kept on, stalling. And every drive, it's like, all right, let's go down and score, and it's a one possession game, and then we finally did on the beautiful touchdown pass to Alan Lazard on 4th down, and. And then our defense, nothing against them. They were stopping them all night. We couldn't get that one last stop, which is just tough. Like, Channon fell down, and obviously Mahomes made that pass and was fist bumping like he, had the greatest game of his life. But even though, he just doesn't look that good this year. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know.
But
go ahead.
Before we move on,
yep,
we got to just acknowledge one little thing. And that's the last 6 quarters of play that Kevin King's been on the field. Yes. He's been playing good football.
He's been playing good football.
So we have to admit where we were wrong. Now, that is only 6 quarters because he's had a lot of bad games before that. But we'll give credit where credit's due. Hey, MVS was on a lot of shit lists for about a year and a half. And
so was Devontae.
I mean, yeah, actually, that's the best example. Devontae was on the fit list for a while.
I hate to boast, but Kevin King was my under the radar guy last week. And although he didn't come away with the interception that I was predicting,
he played well.
Good. So,
yeah,
no, I'm
I
excited.
think he was the highest rated defender. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're good. Let's jump in. We're 7-2. We lead the NFC North by, I think, 4 games after the Vikings and Bears both lost last weekend. Vikings choked. Bears got screwed by the refs for the first time in a long time, honestly. They think they get screwed every game when they don't. The first half, like the refs didn't do anything to them the majority of the game until the end, because all their penalties were false starts. All those offensive penalties they had, I think 5 of the first 7 were false starts or ones that are they're not emotional or there's no human element. It's just it happened. So and then obviously until the end of the game they got hosed. I'll give them that. They probably wouldn't have won anyways. So that's
they would have found a way to lose like the Cowboys.
Yeah, they would have found a way to lose just like the Cowboys. So Lions are winless, obviously. Aaron Rodgers will hopefully be back this weekend before we play the Seahawks. And Russell Wilson is back. We're at Lambeau, where he is 0-4 during his career when he plays. And the even bigger news, David Bakhtiari has been activated out the PUP list and could possibly play on Sunday if the Packers decide to let him. You think, John, you think he'll go on Sunday, or are we going to have to wait another week?
Gosh, I mean, I don't know. It seemed, I mean, we thought he'd maybe be going last week, right? But I mean, at this point, I mean, they're clearly taking their pretty old time, but I mean, it's got to be by next week, right? I mean, it's hard to know.
I mean, if not, then the concerns probably start raising a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably know a lot more tomorrow. I mean,
yeah.
Get more. They're saying that a lot of today's practice were mental reps and whatnot, but above the neck, coach says above the neck. So I mean, probably learn a lot more tomorrow. Hopefully, you can get out there. I mean, like to get him out there sooner than later.
I mean, you saw last week our old line just got destroyed. So I was listening to Pat McAfee, and Rodgers said,
"Yeah,
in quotes, the old line played well." I was like, "Huh? Like what? Yeah. Like maybe."
There is always some interesting when the O-line played well. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stuff that us at home just watching the TV sometimes you don't understand, because who knows? You don't know who was supposed to block who. You don't know what it was schemed up for, what the protection calls were, if there was a hot alert of something. Yeah. So it's just it's easy for us to pick it apart. And so sometimes if he says, hey, the line played well, then maybe they played better. Maybe they played better than what we thought. But I mean, we saw that game they didn't play well.
So before we move on,
they did run blocking. We ran the ball solid.
Yeah, we did.
But
he didn't keep with that, which
he was getting pressured like crazy. And there was sometimes they were sending pressure where we had enough guys to block 5-on-5, 6-on-6, and we just were totally whiffing. I mean, Royce didn't have a very good game.
Looks like he'll be hitting the bench here whenever Bach comes back. So before we move on, the drive where A.J. Dillon was basically carrying us down the field, and then they put in Aaron Jones. I think it was 2 runs and then a short pass to him, and then we kicked the field goal and miss it, obviously. Forget if it was a block or the miss. I can't remember. Why take – I mean, it's not like A.J. Dillon's tired. Practice all week. They're not hitting or going live. I get it. Their practice is practice. They're working out and stuff. But it's not like he's tired. What's the point? Are we trying to keep both legs fresh? What do you think is going on?
Normally I would complain a lot more, but I'm never gonna. No, seriously. Normally I would complain a lot more, but I'm never gonna complain when Aaron Jones gets put in the game, right?
No, I get it.
Because no matter what, I do agree. It's dude, if AJ Dillon is just pounding down the field and can't be stopped, why take him out? But you got to think you put in Aaron Jones, and it's not like you're going to get a guy that's lack of effort. It's not like he's not going to run a guy over. He's got so at the end of the day, like I don't hate. I would hate it in a lot more situations than in most football games, but
it's Aaron Jones.
I'm never going to complain when Aaron Jones goes back in.
No, I get it
because we complained for 2 years that he wasn't getting in the game, but now AJ Dillon has shown that he's worthy.
He's earned his reps. Remember that guy a couple weeks ago that was trying to argue with us about how Amari Rodgers should be seeing the field more than Randall Cobb?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I do remember that because he said that it was time to move on and get the reps, blah 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 blah.
Like rookie receivers, just in general, besides Justin Jefferson last year and obviously a few other names, Jamar Chase this year, it takes a little time, and especially with Rodgers, like they got to build that memoir chemistry. Like, come on, and that was right before Cobb had 2 touchdowns, or maybe right after. And it's like Amari had a great preseason. It's like, dude, he had 80 yards over 3 games, and it's preseason 1, 2. I'm not knocking Amari whatsoever. More of a point on Cobb. Like, he's earned those reps, and Amari has yet to earn them. And obviously he's a rookie. Right. So it'll take time. So all right, he had a rough game, punt return. Did you think they were going to put Cobb in the punt return where he had the 15-yard return?
Yeah.
They were going to put Cobb in? I saw a coach said, hey, let's go make a switch. And Drayton's like, no. Like,
yeah.
Thankfully it worked out, because if that wouldn't have worked, like what if he would have fumbled that one?
I can't remember which Bears guy it was. I think at one time I was talking with one of my buddies earlier this week. It's like sometimes those punt returners, before they go on the field, they have to convince themselves that they're willing to go die every single time, because no one wants, because there's very few people that want to have that position in the NFL, because you can
they don't just go straight up and come down. They're like swirling.
Yeah.
You
can get killed back there, and then you got all the pressure. And being a punt returner is probably like the 3rd most pressure packed position per play, like behind the quarterback and the kicker. Like being a punt returner, you could, if you fumble the ball, you basically just lost 50, 60 yards and the ball.
And the ball, right?
Your one F up can change so much more than 2 yards. It can change the whole game. Look at the Bears Steelers game. That was 23-13 with about 6 minutes left, and then and the Steelers are about to get the ball and just run the clock out, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, he fumbled it, goes back for 6, and now you got a new game.
Right. No, I'm with you. I am not giving up on Amari, not even close. I got a jersey of his. I brought it to the game. He was nice enough to walk over and sign it, hanging up in a frame right to my right. So if anybody's going to stick with him as long as anyone, it's going to be me. All right, moving on. If Rodgers plays this Sunday, which I assume he will, he said there's a slight chance that he won't. I'm sure he will. We could see him slinging it to Devontae, MVS, Lazard, Cobb, the full receiver core.
First time, and
the first time since back in September when MVS went down with the hamstring injury. This makes
week 2.
Yeah, this makes our player pick'ems, and if we add OBJ in the mix, that makes it a lot more interesting going into this weekend. I need a little juice here.
Yeah,
I've lost 5 straight
in a row. Guy, karma really got you.
Karma, no, it's not karma. I 1-3. I was talking some shit. That's fine.
You were.
No, it's just a bunch of BS. So whatever. All right, it's 5-3 this weekend. It's about to change, John. I'm going to say that right now. So, all right, next up, I want to highlight Chris Barnes. This dude was on a mission Sunday. 9 total tackles. Massive hit at the goal line to force the Chiefs to kick a field goal.
He had 3 big hits.
Multiple hole-stuffing tackles at the goal line. You think Jalen Smith was let go because Chris Barnes kind of reminded the Packers what kind of player he is / can be?
I mean, I guess it could be. I guess another thing too is just maybe he looked at them both, and I don't know what the cap situations were for both of them. So to be honest with you, I don't know if it was involved. Of,
Like
hey,
700,000 for Jalen. I'm not sure what it is for Chris.
you've got this and this, like
Yep.
what
Stick with the guy we've had. Stick with some guy that we just picked up. I get it.
So I mean, at the end of the day, Chris Barnes seems like he's been kind of
he was great the first week or two before he got injured with the concussion, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, like his whole situation. I mean, I wish I mean, we need better middle linebackers. I mean, obviously we got that in Devondre, but I mean, we had to have let him go because I mean, Jalen came on and he didn't provide us anything we needed. So it was like, hey.
Yeah, and a guy like that, it's like, all right, you got to come in, make some noise, otherwise you're going to get stuffed in the depth chart and or cut or released, whatever. So another guy I want to highlight on defense before we head into next segment here, Rashawn Gary. John, this dude is a freaking beast. 18 quarterback hits so far, 4.5 sacks, 28 tackles. And outside of the stat sheet, it seems like he's disrupting throws left and right, them playing out of his mind. Question for you is he turning into a superstar? Like, is he already a superstar? What's the vibe around him?
I mean, I'm not gonna label the word superstar, but I will say one thing. There, throughout the last 10 years, whenever there was like, hey, you need a guy to make a play, you'd always watch like, all right, Clay Matthews is about to make this play. Like, watch him. He's going to be that guy that gets that play. And then Zadarius, like, for a little while in the last couple of years, been that guy. And like, besides that, like Preston didn't really have it last year. But now it seems like I feel like when I watch Rashawn, that Rashawn's kind of that guy that it's like, all right, they gotta block this dude because this dude's gonna be the one that's gonna make the play. I mean, if Preston wasn't playing well, which he seems to be playing better this year than he did last year, and then Zadarius is back. I mean, it changes things a lot as far as like who's your number one guy to block. But at the end of the day, like Rashawn's kind of. I mean, he's young, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, but I think when Z comes back, Preston's going to be the odd one out.
Yeah, well, but one thing that I think they tried last year that maybe they'll try more of this year, even though Joe Barry's here, is move Zadarius inside on third and 10 and have Zadarius rush inside and have those two guys.
Zadarius, Kenny Clark, Rashawn. I mean, that's a nasty front.
Yeah. I mean, I like that. So I mean,
even with Rashawn, like another 5 weeks.
I mean, I'm not gonna say he's a superstar, but he's definitely starting to play up to his hype.
I will say I am kind of bummed he's wearing 52 because like I love Clay too, and I look at 52, I automatically think of Clay, but now Rashawn's coming in with 52, and it's like, all right, like this dude's balling out too.
Well, you can see he's just got a lot of energy too because there was one point in the game I can't pinpoint it exactly, but I mean, you could see him just pumping up the whole D line, and before a play, I mean, it was a big play, and he was just going up and he's hitting them. I mean, so clearly he's coming out there, and he's getting fired up, and that's what we want.
Yep, no doubt. All right, it's officially week 10, John. Isn't it crazy? We're more than halfway through the regular season, which to me is just nuts. We've had one hell of a season so far. Obviously, blowout week 1. Crosby game winner in San Fran. The I Own You game in Chicago. The Cincinnati debacle or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Taking out the undefeated Cardinals with a Rasul Douglas interception, which was called by yours truly. Thank you very much. Jordan Love getting some game action last week due to the Aaron Rodgers situation, which I'm not sure if you're aware of his situation. We can talk about that later. And obviously now this week, the OBJ noise. What has been your favorite? What's been your favorite game of this season so far?
Favorite game.
Yep, I know mine. It's a tough question because we've already had like each year has that one game where it's like like the Niner game. Each year has that one game. Like we're lucky to get one of those games, like a crazy 30, 40-second have under a minute comeback, and we go down and score. Like you know the game sealing interception against the Cardinals.
So I'll go through it. Nobody liked the Saints game. The Lions game, that's blowout. 49ers. The Packers Steelers game always kind of felt like we had it. The Bengals game was an experience. That game just I wanted to fall asleep.
The wrong way.
Well, I wanted to fall asleep. That made me mad. Packers game was fun, but versus the Bears, but you always knew that Green Bay was going to win. Washington, you never felt a threat. So for me, and then obviously the Chiefs game, So for me, and for I would say most people, it comes down to Packers, 49ers, and then Packers Cardinals. I think those are kind of the two clear, obvious ones. Yep. The bigger win was the I don't know. I feel like
could have both been argued for bigger wins because like
the bigger win was versus the Cardinals. Like that was like undermanned, and I know most people I feel like would go that way. But I don't know. Beating the 49ers is
early on in the season, setting the tone of like,
I'm
gonna win now. Let's go.
I'm gonna go with the 49ers because I still have sour taste in my mouth of the last 10 years. So I mean, I guess that's the emotional answer. But otherwise,
you let your emotions kind of control you every once in a while.
Oh yes, it says the guy that always picks Green Bay to win.
I think you didn't pick the Cardinals game because you picked them to lose. Is that a fair assessment? No,
I did, and I also picked them to lose to the Chiefs by 6 or 7 points, and they did lose by 6 or 7 points, did they not? Now 7-13 was not the same outcome that we would have predicted.
Right. But, no, I get it. My favorite moment or game this year, I was thinking about it earlier when I was just thinking about what we could talk about tonight.
We didn't say moment, we said game. Okay,
we said game. No, yeah, you asked. It's game. It's the Cardinals game, man. Like that was such a massive win. Short week.
Yeah.
Like I said, all of our guys were out. They're undefeated. The best of all of our guys were gone. Devontae, all those guys. We went in there, took them down, and my favorite part in front of a national audience on Thursday Night Football. So everybody's like, "Oh, damn! Like they don't have a full strength, and they're the best team in the league." That was awesome. Close second. Same with you. That's what your pick was, a Niner game because of Crosby, obviously one of my favorite players. But
yeah. Go ahead. It
was early. It was early in the season. Kind of like I said a couple seconds ago, set the tone of like, hey, we can win this game. It was a frustrating game to watch because obviously we were up 17-0. Then we give up the late touchdown before the half. And then they take the lead. I think it was Juszczyk or whatever with the late touchdown. Like, you're like, okay, here we go again. Like, everyone's tweeting like, oh, Packers were going to lose one of these games they were supposed to or whatever. Everybody tweet. Like, so sick of half the people that it's just.
I love me some 37 seconds on the clock, go down and attack the middle of the field and a Mason Crosby game-winning field goal.
Devontae, too, to make it even better.
And then deja vu happened against the Bengals. We just couldn't make the damn field goal.
I know. Can you imagine, like, boom, another pass to Devontae, who everybody knows is where the ball's going to, and then
I know you didn't have it set up for necessarily a discussion, but I'll give 10 seconds of my time to it.
Good.
Figure the fucking field goal team out right goddamn now. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? It has been so disgusting. With a kicker as good as Crosby, it's like now we go out and it's like, okay, we're going to make a 36-yard field goal. Like the right side of the line has just been getting bullied. Lancaster didn't block inside out, didn't block outside in. He didn't block anyone. Freaking Kelly or whatever, his ass got thrown down. Like come the hell on, dude.
Like figure it out.
If we get to the playoffs and we lose a game, our big game, because of a field goal unit,
I'll be so pissed because that's always been our automatic outside of that one odd year. Every field goal, I was like, boom, we're gonna make this. Like,
yeah,
boom, I got the post ready.
Now it's like I trust Crosby to make any field goal, but it's just like, now he's going out there going shit. The Grand Theft Auto meme or GIF that says, "Oh shit, here we go again." Yeah, that's what I think of every goddamn
time they walking down with his wife beater on.
Here we go again.
Here we go again. Like that San Andreas game.
35-yard field goals. That's supposed to be automatic.
Come on, man.
Freaking one of the top 20 kickers of all time.
We had JK. Who would you rather have? JK Scott with terrible punts but perfect holds, or Corey Bojorquez with perfect punts and bad holds? I'm not even gonna say my answer. But just hold the ball right, man. That one, he caught it and he didn't even spin it. Like he literally caught it and just sat it there. Usually they catch it, spin it around for him.
It's okay. And to be honest with you, like I totally agree with that. And I'm not a kicker myself, so I get that it messed up. But still, in my eyes,
kick that shit and make it,
bro. A 40-yard field goal. Field goal. It's just kind of like a little bit of a bailout sometimes.
Like you need it to be perfect. Like, no, come on, go out and kick that shit and make it. Like the block field goal, nobody's fault but the lines.
So yeah,
like,
I had to bring that comment up.
No, you're good. You're good. All right, let's move on here. With the call this weekend for the game, we got Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson at Lambeau. You like these announcers for Sunday? What are your opinions on them, if you have any?
I don't know, Jim.
Here comes the motion. Nope. Nope. Oh, I was wrong, but
Jim, did you see him? Jim, did you see that?
Like
I like some Tony Romo. I will say the guy knows the game. He announces the game with enthusiasm, and
knowledge,
with an educated educated enthusiasm. I mean, I do tend to like, as somebody that obviously like coaches, I tend to like somebody that can break the game down a little bit, as opposed to somebody that's just, kind of just spieling, whatever the word would be.
Like on Monday night when the guy was talking about Najee Harris sleeping on the floor or whatever, but it was false. Like, come on, man.
Hey, who was it? I think it was Randy Moss before the Packers game on ESPN on Sunday. Did you see that he talked about Robert Tonyan being like one of the
keys? Not know.
How do you not know?
Like he had to have been planning so long, like and so much for that game.
These guys, like, they have these jobs.
They have so much on their plate.
I don't expect them to be perfect, but sometimes it's like, dude, if you're gonna come out with a point and something to say, like, don't totally whiff. Like, totally whiff.
Like, he should be on his own. Come on, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he did. But I mean, I like Romo when because I mean, whatever. Romo's gonna bend the knee to Rodgers this weekend about how good he is and all that.
I'm looking forward to it
and how good Russell was. Oh, and this team without Russell Wilson, he's gonna be having a
heyday.
Lack of better words, PG-13. He's gonna be having an orgy over the quarterbacks on Sunday.
That's a PG-13. I like these announcers. But I think Romo, the hype around him has kind of been worn off. Maybe a bit overhyped for a while now, but that's neither here nor there. I enjoy watching him, and it seems like for the most part, he's right more than he is wrong. Maybe I don't know. We don't see many of his games. Obviously, they do the AFC, whatever. Now, if you're asking me, well, it's these guys are Joe Buck or Troy Aikman, I'm taking the A team and Joe and Troy. So that's that.
That's fine. I mean, whatever. 1A, 1B, and I mean, he's like kind of like that third group that I would want. Like between A, I mean, I'll take that.
I miss Tirico.
Yeah, Tirico is always good too.
Nope, I get it. I get it. All right. Next up, Odell Beckham Jr. Saw a little bit ago that his decision is still a few days out on where he'll decide to play. How realistic, John, do you think it is that he ends up in Green Bay? And more importantly, your opinion is what everybody cares about. Do you want him on the Green Bay Packers?
I'll answer this with 2 percentages. One of them is 2%, and one of them is 100%. And you can figure out which ones you think they are. But I'll just go ahead and tell you and spoil it. I think there's about a 2% chance we get them because we never effing get guys. And then there's a 99% chance that I want him on the team. Yeah, I'm sorry, I get it.
99?
I get it. Yeah, that 1% is because of what he's done in the past. I think that Green Bay is a player-led locker room with an opportunity that I don't think OBJ can walk into a Green Bay and think it's all about him. And of course a lot of that stuff's always going to be overblown. And you know what? Sometimes
he's cancer. Maybe he's this. It's like shut up.
Yeah.
Like,
and maybe sometimes he is what he is, but I just feel like it'd be for him to walk into a situation where, for one, he wouldn't be the best receiver on the team. He's never had that. Nope. 2, he has a quarterback that's a 3-time MVP.
Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl MVP.
You got like
Super Bowl MVP and champ this year.
You got all pros and Pro Bowlers all over the roster, so he wouldn't be stepping into Green Bay being that guy. You know, he's not in
number 5, like behind D-Bach, Rodgers, Devontae, Jair.
Yeah, I mean, it's just at the end of the day, if you can't come into Green Bay mid-season on a team that's successful and just buy in, then I mean, whatever. I feel like it would work. And at the end of the day, with Tonyan being hurt, one thing that I like a lot, and that I did see another person mention it too, and I think I liked it, was using Lazard a lot as almost like a tight end blocker, and then kind of shifting things around and allowing, because you know, without Tonyan, you know, we can still have Lazard be.
He's a hell of a blocker. Like I tweeted yesterday or today, best blocker and receiver in the league.
Yeah.
And somebody's like,
we could still use him, and then you got receivers on the field, so then it brings more defensive backs on the field, right? And then in turn, then we can still run the ball when they're in dime nickel, because we got a guy that's a wide receiver and they don't know what formation
we're coming, tight end,
but he's a blocker. So
yeah, somebody came on and replied to me on Twitter like, "Oh, but receivers are supposed to catch the ball and not block." So unfortunately, and then he's like, "That's like a cornerback saying he's a great tackler when he's supposed to prevent a catch." It's like, dude,
I don't give a shit.
Praises blocking wide receivers, like, just stop.
Nobody needs Alan Lazard to catch 10 touchdowns and 70 passes. What we need out of him
is block and catch
is catch 2 or 3 a game.
1 or 2 being on third down.
Be a great block. Yeah, be a great blocker.
That's why he's going to get paid next offseason. Probably not a huge number, but he'll get extended because he's a great blocking receiver.
Yeah, so I'll revisit it. Obviously, I think it's probably higher than 2%. It's probably more like 25% chance Green Bay gets him, because there's a couple other teams in the running. I say 2% because it never freaking happens.
Yeah, it never comes through. I think it's more realistic than yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's real. I think it's realistic totally. I'm putting that number so low because I'm just trying to convince myself it's not going to happen, because we always get our hopes up as Packers fans, and it never happens.
No,
and he's got other options out there too that are good options too. Although
narrows choices down to KC, New Orleans, us. I think we seem to be the best scenario overall as like a team. And as far as like who can make a Super Bowl run, obviously Devontae said today that his hopes are pretty high when talking about OBJ being a Packer. Obviously, as you saw, I'm sure everybody else saw too, we offered him the vet minimum. And the other teams probably won't offer him much more with their cap situations being as thin as ours. I'd love to see him in Green Bay. Like, at this point, it's like, why not? Like, a couple years ago, he was one of the best receivers in the league. and from a talent standpoint, like probably still is if he can stay healthy. And with Rodgers throwing him the ball, like come on, him and Devontae getting the ball thrown, to them by A-Rod, like game over. Only time will tell. Though, one more thing, is he a locker room cancer? Like, does that thing exist, or is that just a bunch of?
I don't think I don't think that he can come into Green Bay and be that regardless. I think it's and then my last point on this also is one thing for the people that I was reading, like, what the hell, he can go get 5 million somewhere else, 3 million, 2 million. There's a lot of people don't understand how this works based on like the wording in his contract. If he like makes
$1 million, don't understand the cap situation or cap.
Well, no, if he makes $1 million, like in Green Bay is what I understand, or like somewhere else, every million on top of that, he's going to lose because the Browns still have to pay him, right? So like, if he makes that money in free agency going somewhere else, the Browns no longer have to necessarily pay him that money. So like the whole double dipping and making salaries from, like, if he tries to get a higher contract, it's not doing him necessarily
like canceling out.
Yeah, it's not canceling out. So it just doesn't work that way. He's not going to go get $10 million for 8 games. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I saw Zach Jacobson say something earlier today about like take the vet minimum, play 8 games, maybe you win a title this year, and then next year get paid like a tryout year. Like, and you're going to produce with Raj and with people focusing on Devontae. Like, come on, man. Like that's a gimme. I feel like in Kansas City they're a wreck. Like they have Kelsey, Tyreek Hill. Like we have just Devontae. Obviously we have other guys too. But like,
I mean, he would be technically the second best option to throw the ball to. If he goes to KC, he'd be the third best option.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
But who knows? Whatever. He could go to the Saints and maybe they'd scheme him the ball too. But hey, if you want to go have the ball thrown to you by Trevor Siemian, go be my guest, buddy.
Bye. Like, see ya. That's fine. All right. Next on tap. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers have been fined due to the recent breaking of the COVID-19 rules. Packers as an organization, big fine $300,000. Rodgers was fined $14,650 for his violations. What do you make of this situation? And are the fines granted, or is it all just a bunch of PR stuff? Because Rodgers did say the team and organization has been aware of his vaccination status. So I'm assuming the league did too. And to this point, obviously he hasn't been fined. But now after his positive test and his Pat McAfee show appearance last week where he roasted everybody, the league steps in and slaps these fines on him. Like, do you make anything of this? I know it's a little late, but I haven't got a chance to talk with you about it a whole lot. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the whole fine thing always just like who was it that got fined $20,000 for like their jersey? CeeDee Lamb. I saw that tweet, and then there was first of all, the thing that's funny is that Allen Lazard's getting fined the same as Aaron Rodgers because
the Halloween party.
Because of the Halloween party, but it's like
Rodgers. What about Thanksgiving get-togethers? Can they not do that either? It's like,
yeah, but exactly because Rodgers is like been doing his doing all the stuff that's technically illegal against the rules, and that Allen Lazard hasn't. So it's just funny to see like the inconsistency, and then $300,000 in Bay, and it's like, what the hell is that? And I mean, I'm sure they're going to do stuff going forward and force them to do. Yeah, it's just like, I mean, at the end of the day, no matter what, Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers broke the rules, but the NFL knew about it.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins was breaking the rules, but where's his fine?
And to act like they wouldn't have known about it is just ridiculous because it doesn't make any sense. Everyone was watching those post-game conferences where Rodgers didn't have a mask on. And it's one thing, like you said, everyone knew he wasn't vaccinated. So it's like, if they knew about it, I mean, well, they clearly knew about it. You would have thought after week 2, they would have said, hey, just so you know, cut this shit out. And they didn't. So, you know what? That's probably, they can't really bring down the hammer when they're just being negligent.
Yeah. Higher talent, higher tolerance, as I like to say. So, next up, tidbits brought to you by the Packers Dope Sheet. You want to take it away, John?
Yeah. Some good stats here. Unlike some bad ones. Green Bay has won 9 straight home games, including playoffs against the Seahawks, which is actually pretty impressive because the Seahawks have been good in the last 10 years.
They've been damn good. That last loss, they've been super good.
I mean, we beat them. Gosh, I don't remember what year it was, but Russ threw like 5 picks versus us in Green Bay like 5 years ago. If you look that up.
Oh yes, that was the one where Rodgers had the rolling out throw to Devontae on the sidelines.
Yeah. Last 5 games against Green Bay and Seattle. Green Bay's won 4 of the last 5. Packers are 5-1 against the NFC this year, which is obviously important.
Impressive.
Loss to the Saints.
Yep.
The Packers once led the Seahawks 16-0 late in the NFC Championship game back in 2014, only to choke away their shot at a Super Bowl title after an unfortunate series of events that was capped off by the onside kick, Brandon Bostic. Sorry to bring him back into it. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that touching on that was so much more than one play. It just play was going to be the one that we had a really bad punt. Mike Daniels getting that personal foul after Clinton Dix's interception in like the first quarter. We were at like the 3-yard line, then we were at like the 18 or wherever the heck we were. I mean, there was so much that was just stupid shit that went in that game. They had the fake field goal in that game, right? Too for the
fake field goal. I think was it a touchdown or
yeah, I think it was a touchdown. But either way, just like all the garbage in the world, and I'll still never forget to this day, and I'll never let my mom live this down. It was getting towards the end of the game, and my mom came downstairs and she said, "Woohoo, woohoo!"
Steph?
Yeah.
No.
She lost us that game just as much as anybody else. As Brandon Bostic, I'll never forgive her because I looked at her and I gave it to her. I said, "It's not over yet." And that was just a classic move of somebody that just
Yeah. I was watching it with my dad. He gets a text from a buddy of his who's a Packers fan, and he said, "Are you ready for the Super Bowl?" with like a few minutes left. And I was like, that fucking hurts. Man.
It's okay. And then not only that, but the replacement ref game. Seattle's definitely high up on my shit list for most hated teams.
Those couple years were so rough. Like,
they're easily my most hated team outside of the NFC North.
Gosh, man, that year was so rough. Badgers go to the Final Four, lose to Kentucky. Then the next year they get all the way back. They're up by 9 with a few minutes left in the friggin' championship game, and then Justice Winslow touched the fucking ball, and we get hosed by the refs. That was such a rough couple years, and living in an area with a ton of Iowa fans who hate Wisconsin, and a ton of people who hate Americans. Go ahead. Sorry, you broke up. What did you say?
Yeah, and that would have been a. Yeah, you started breaking too. That would have been a Rodgers Brady Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You there? Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you now.
No. That would have been a Rodgers Brady. That would have been a Rodgers Brady Super Bowl.
That would have been a Rodgers Brady Super Bowl. The year against the Niners would have been a Rodgers Brady Super Bowl. Or no, I'm wrong. Sorry. Last year.
What was it? The Falcons year? What was the Falcons?
Yes. Yeah. And we would have beat his ass too. Like that would have switched the numbers. So like he has 7 now. Say Rodgers has 3 and he has 5. Like you're giving the GOAT status to Rodgers automatically. I feel like.
It's okay. The defense did. I mean, the defense wasn't to fault in the NFC Championship game versus Seattle. That was so many more. That was so many more things. And Rodgers didn't play that well either. But
at that time, like going into Seattle, like that at that moment, that year, they were like greatest defense of all time, the Legion of Boom. Like
going into Seattle and playing them,
nobody has beaten them there in years.
I know Brady obviously had a really good Super Bowl against them, But at the end of the day, going into Seattle, it was much different than playing them on a neutral field.
Oh,
That's not even
close. No, you're good.
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
Yeah. Talking about the bad stuff.
Under the radar guy this Sunday.
That's why every time we beat them, you.
It's a fuck you.
Every time.
Every damn time. All right, under the radar guy for Sunday. Who you got?
Oh shit. David Bakhtiari.
I got my guy. If you want to think for a second.
Yeah, let me think for a second. Go ahead.
All right, my under the radar guy. He's not so much under the radar because I feel like with all these injuries, all these under the radar guys have been stepping up and getting their getting some showtime. He's not an injury replacement, but I think Adrian Amos hasn't really been focused on much because he's been doing everything correctly. He's been pretty quiet back there. He's been doing his job. But I think he'll have a good game Sunday. Make some big plays, maybe a pass breakup on third down. My one thing is I think Adrian Amos is gonna get a pick against Russell Wilson. And
hey, that's fine. Just keep speaking them into existence, Rob.
You have to. Like Adrian Amos pick against Russell Wilson to just change the tide, get another pick on that or get another turnover on that defense. Like it's happening Sunday. Adrian Amos, book it. He's my guy. Who you got?
I'm gonna continue to go with. No, I'm looking at my shorts. I'm thinking Alan Lazard or MVS, and just in our opening promo, I'm gonna go with Lazard. Can go with Lazard. Because that guy, he's got three touchdowns. He got a touchdown in each of the last 3 games he's played.
Damn right he
has. He has a touchdown in each of the last 3 games he's played because he didn't play. Yep.
Right before the half, and then obviously fourth down last game.
Yep. So I'm gonna keep going with him. But I'm gonna keep going with him too because of the blocking. I know it sounds stupid to fantasy football owners out there, but I'm gonna go with Alan.
Receivers don't make a look.
I'm gonna go with. All right, he's Alan Lazard.
All right, that's I got Adrian Amos. You got Lazard. Let's book it. Okay, this next one is legendary. We've got a ratio alert, John. Whoever the hell runs Pro Football Talk is a clown. I know who runs it. He doesn't need to have his name announced here. He tried to go at our guy Kurt Bankert after getting called out for a rookie journalism mistake. They published an article saying we have no practice squad quarterback or some other practice squad quarterback, and we obviously do. Kurt
yeah, go ahead.
Kurt just had a dunk on this guy, didn't he, John? Huh? Let's check him out here. Good Lord. Pro Football Talk. This is just shit journalism. Know the facts of a story before you make random ideas up and publish them. It's unprofessional to put words in people's mouths. 1.6 million followers with 0 attention. Have to do something to get the numbers up, I guess. Wow. Kurt, Pro Football Talk, said something about thank you for pointing that out, blah, blah, blah. Didn't apologize. And then he got blocked by Kurt. And he said, maybe I shouldn't have said this, as he has never taken a snap in a regular season game and probably never will. That's just disrespectful and very immature, in my opinion. This guy's a clown. That's plain and simple as that. He doesn't need to have his name announced because he's a loser, and I don't have any respect for him or people like him. Then Kurt comes back with the hammer. He slams that shit on the table. I'd rather be a career bench warmer than make a living off shitty content. Cheers. Don't mess with Kurt.
Hey, Kurt's a good follow on Twitter.
Hell yeah, he is. You're a big gamer, and I'm going to go out and say it right now. He's a big gamer. I know what kind of gamer you are, and people in our area know what kind of gamer you are. I don't care if it's Warzone. I know for sure Halo. I think you could take him out.
Yeah, hey.
In any game of his choice.
listen, if Kurt wants to get on, throw some games down with me. Let's go.
I think it won't be so much like, let's get on, I'm going to beat you and beat you. I think once he gets on and plays with you, he'll really enjoy playing with you, because I hate playing Call of Duty with you because, one, I can never get any kills because you're always killing everybody, and I'm not very good. So I get thrown into these higher ranked games with a bunch of super good people and just get wrecked. And I'm looking around for guys, and you're going 25-2, and I'm 2-4 or 2-10. It's like I don't find anybody, and when I do, they shoot me before I even see them.
Kurt, I like when he plays Madden too. It's kind of fun to watch. Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Sorry.
Yeah, I like watching Kurt do his Madden series where he's on kind of breaks down like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send him to the flat. Gonna send him in on a slant. And what if the backer breaks on here? He talks about just basic little things that are kind of fun to watch. That's like the X's and O's of offense, and so that's always entertainment. I love what TJ Lang, a couple other guys have been doing to Mr. Who Pro Football Talk lately, because I mean that guy can't get Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers out of his mouth. I mean it's actually it's actually kind of sad is I do feel like there needs to be some sort of standard to hold himself to. And I feel like it's actually kind of disgusting and embarrassing what Florio's doing on a daily basis, like in the last week. Especially. I mean, like, it's like, dude, you're on like the biggest game, Sunday Night Football of the year, doing your, people listen to your takes and whatnot. And like, you're out there just like swearing and getting in little arguments with Twitter trolls. Yeah. Like that dude.
Like, maybe I shouldn't have said this, like, because he probably never will take a regular season snap. Like, that's just like, that's not even like funny or like.
No, it's not. That's petty, and it's rude. It's like
disrespectful to the game.
Yeah, it's like two teenagers arguing with each other on Twitter. It's like, dude, I mean, come on. Florio needs to mature. I understand, like, he can have his opinions, but this dude, I mean, he's shit.
Bad. It's like Skip Bayless, but honestly even worse, because he's actually engaging with people. Skip just tweets out shit and doesn't do anything.
He knows
he's actually engaging and like being offensive.
Yep.
Like, no, I get it. All right. We got Packers Seahawks on Sunday at 3:25. We're running a little late here, so I figured we kind of close it down. That cool with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Packers Seahawks Sunday at 3:25 at Lambeau. Seahawks are 3-5. Russell Wilson's back after missing a few weeks with the finger injury. Let's give some predictions, shall we? You want to go first? You want me to go first?
It's up to you. You give me the decision. You
I'll go ahead and go first. Why not? I think it's going to be a blowout. Plain and simple. It'll be something like this, 17-10.5, close game through two quarters. I think we'll come out of the second half and just kind of beat the brakes off these guys. We're at home. After we settle in those first few quarters, Rodgers hasn't been with Devontae for 2 weeks, hasn't been with MVS for a few weeks. After shaking off the rust a little bit, I think we'll just kind of beat the brakes off them in second half. I'm going to go 34-20. I think the defense holds them to under 24 points. As our giveaway that we got going on right now on Twitter has us giving a random person $50 if the Seahawks score less than 24 points. I think it's automatic. Go check it out for your chance. We've had 3 total winners this week or this year, so I think someone's going to win $50 this week. Rodgers has a little throwback day, something like 320 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon both with a touchdown. Yeah, I think we're going to come out, have a statement win, and they're all just going to be like, you know what? I don't care what you say about our team, our guys. The outside noise doesn't matter, and we know how to win. We're going to do it. What do you think?
All right, so it's a point spread that I think can tend to probably change a lot still in the next few days, huh? Pending Rodgers is in, Rodgers is out, maybe Bakhtiari. I don't know if that'll change much. Russell Wilson seems like he's suited to play. But Green Bay's favored by 3. The over-under's 49.5, I think is what I read. So they're kind of predicting Green Bay to kind of 26-23 is kind of like the prediction, give or take. I mean, I like a 27-21 type game. I think no matter what, I still think that holding the Seahawks to 21 points is a solid number. I just feel like
Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson, is he going to be back? I think.
Yeah, I don't know. He was activated, so I don't. We'll see.
Possibility,
but that you know how that goes too. You know, he might play, but it might not mean
full load. Chris Carson,
40 snap. Who knows? I got 27-21 Green Bay as of right now. I mean, once I know a little bit more about Rodgers on Saturday, that might change things. Know a little bit more about Bakhtiari, that might change things. But I mean, who knows? I might not. I mean, I think 27 points is great to have enough. You know, that's a good number. You know, my faith in the defense might change. I might go 27-17, but right now 27-21 because I mean, I'm being fair to the Seahawks. I still think they're a tough physical team. I just think that I just think Green Bay at full strength is the better team. And they're not at full strength, but I think Green Bay at full strength for what we've seen is going to be a better team than them.
I'm with you. Any last words you want to get out before we shut it down?
Oh, I just hope that Green Bay,
baby.
Yeah, that too. It's just like so much you want Green Bay to win so that they can move on from the storylines. Because Green Bay comes out, they lose a game, lose another game, or something like that. I mean, sometimes it's just hard to turn
it's just like
on Twitter and just listen to all the complaining and whatnot. So we're really hoping that they get a win for a lot of reasons. I mean, the most important being for the future of it, but
another NFC win would be huge. So
yeah. I mean, honestly, we've got 3 big games still we've got this game, Rams, Vikings, bye week, and then Ravens. Or is it Ravens bye? Yeah. So I mean,
regardless,
there's some good the next four games are all playoff teams. You know,
so
playoff type
Seahawks, Vikings, Rams, then bye week, then Bears, Ravens.
Okay, then Bears, Ravens.
Stretch coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, so it's
Vikings
still
no slouch. Rams are hit and miss, honestly.
Well, right. I mean, those teams, 3 out of those 5 are playoff teams right now, and then the other 2 are divisional games. So that's 5 good games.
Massive games, and the Vikings games obviously at Minnesota.
And they're 4 out of the 5 of them are NFC games. Yeah.
Gosh, I want to go to that game, but it's like, how fun would it be to go to a Vikings game in US Bank? You know?
Yeah, we were at out to eat 2 weekends ago, and my dad was asking me he wants to go to the game too. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I'd like to go see their stadium, and yeah, it'd be fun to go to the game. But it's just, I mean, it's hard for me if I'm going to go to one game. It's hard for me to not choose the game in Lambeau. You know.
I'm with you. I mean, it's only 3 hours. I mean, it's tough, and it's just I feel like it wouldn't be as enjoyable. You get what I'm saying. All right, let's shut it down. Thank you all for tuning in. As I said in my tweet with our show link, this is one of my favorite times of the week. We appreciate you chatting with us. Check us out on Twitter, Rob Westerman 3, myself at JBeckman30 for John. Have a great rest of your night, and we will catch you guys later. Thank you.